Hello, everyone. As you can see, um, yeah, this video is going to be about the coronavirus pandemic, or as I titled it, the Great Plague of 2020 or 2020, whichever you want to say. Now, wow, where do I even begin with this? I actually have the Wikipedia page pulled up on this, and before you say, "Oh, Wikipedia, you can't really trust it," well, the thing is you have to look at the footnotes. And the footnotes come from reliable sources. And they come from like GIS data. So like you have actual people like tracking this and mapping it. So, obviously I'm in the United States. We are at, as I'm reading this, 1,832 cases with 41 deaths and 31 recoveries. Obviously, China being the epicenter of it all. It's been hit the hardest. Second up, Italy, and then Iran. Also, like South Korea, Spain, Germany, France. So, we're definitely in the top 10. And I gotta tell you, man, the panic has been real. You see, like, how many, like, things of toilet paper they've gone through, which is weird, because is diarrhea one of the symptoms? Because if so, it makes sense. If not, someone will have to explain why there's, like, no toilet paper left. Um, as for me, I commute downtown and back every day, so it's definitely been quite a scare for me too, because it's like you don't know who you're coming across, you don't know who has the virus, and the scariest thing of all of this is that there's still a lot the CDC doesn't know about it, and other health agencies around the world. Like, this is a brand new thing, so it's definitely like, I mean, there's legitimate panic. Let's say that there's a lot of legitimate panic about this. Um, there and where I work, I deal with a lot of mail, so we have to wear gloves, and obviously hand washing is very um, enforced for a good reason. Also, everything is getting canceled too. I mean, what was it? President Trump last night announced the um, travel, like kind of a new like travel restriction to the Europe, and I think Europe might have done the same with us, but it was really a surprise to I think a lot of like Americans in Europe. They're like, "Oh shit, I'm stuck here for a month" or something like that, because flight prices rose like in the thousands, and it's like Jesus, man. So I tell you, and what's even more scary is we still don't know the source of this. So some people say, "Oh, it's from eating bat soup. It's from those armadillo-looking animals." Obviously this originated in around the city of Wuhan in China, in this particular province, and from what I heard, they actually killed the patient zero, the person who initially had it. So yeah, it's insane, man. But I mean, there is some good news. I know that's hard to believe, but and you probably already know this, but China, they haven't had any new cases. I forget how long. I don't think Italy has either. Italy's been pretty. They quarantine the entire country. No one can leave. No one can, come in. So that's I think really starting to be noticed by this chart here. Yeah. So classes are also getting canceled. Now I'm out of school, so I don't have to deal with that kind of thing. But it's really insane. I mean, what a time to be alive. And of course, there's all these conspiracy theories. I'm sure. There's also like world leaders that have this, and everyone's like elbow bumping each other because no handshaking. In some countries, they've even like outlawed it outright, just handshaking in general. So it's scary out there, man. I tell you. Every time I hear someone cough, I'm like, just woo, not so much sneeze, but like more coughing. I think coughing is probably more notorious for spreading it. I mean, you can feel free to reject my view on that. Feel free to rebut that, but I feel like coughing is kind of more of a concern than like sneezing. Yeah. Um. Yeah, like who would have thought there'd be a pandemic in our lifetime? It's insane. This is the first since the Spanish flu pandemic of 1918 to 19, and the immediate aftermath of World War One, and also, do you guys remember swine flu in 2009? Like that was, I think, like really the last big one. A few years ago, there was Zika and then Ebola. Those were more epidemics, maybe endemics to the largest extent. But swine flu, that was like, yeah, I remember that panic was really bad too. I think my friend got it, and I actually didn't get it the whole time it was going on. But, this is obviously a lot worse. This is, yeah, this is really, really bad. So, I'm taking precautions. I'm trying not to touch my face as much, stuff like that. And the government responses have actually been kind of all over the place. So, there's been some countries that have had like good precautions people take, and then others with terrible ones. I'm not going into detail, but I'm just saying it's been mixed in that regard. And it's crazy. This whole thing, it actually started. Oh, yeah, it says the first case was November 17th of last year. Wow. But it didn't really hit internationally, I think, until about last month. I remember hearing about this even before it was called coronavirus, or COVID-19. I think I heard about this like in late January, early February. So, but I didn't know it would actually like turn into this. Like this was definitely a surprise to me. And I'd say this is definitely the closest we've had to any kind of like Black Plague or something like that. And I'm sure people said the same thing 100 years ago when the Spanish flu pandemic came about. But yeah, I mean, yeah, this whole thing is like just it's it's definitely, and social media has been just like all over this, and this is not the talk of the town. You hear people talk about, you hear that expression, it's the talk of the town. This is the talk of the fucking world. The world, man. People in Belgium are talking about this, Brazil, South Africa, Burundi, or, Luxembourg, people are talking about this in Paraguay, all over the world, every corner of it. So, and there's also been like an extreme rise in anti-Chinese and like East Asian backlash and xenophobia. So that's been quite a concern a lot too. And so yeah, I mean, this whole thing is just, jeez. I mean, what a year this has been. I mean, there's been like, we assassinated a top Iranian general, Soleimani, and there were people saying, oh, fuck, now World War III is going to start. Great. And then Australia was on fire. Kobe Bryant died, and now this. So this has been one hell of a year, one hell of a decade. Because, yeah, it's the start of the 20s, the roaring 20s. And this is how it kind of played out so far. So, a lot of uncertainty. It kind of makes you take like past years for granted when this kind of thing wasn't happening. It's like really just makes you think like shit, man. Like, the other scary thing about this is that you can have the virus in you for days and not even know it. And the symptoms just come up. They're dormant. It's like the whole thing is dormant in your system until a certain amount of time, and then all of a sudden you're coughing, you have a fever, and you have shortness of breath, and I mean, all I can say is I guess like just stay safe out there, try not to do any travel, and they also say like don't visit elderly relatives in like retirement homes because they're more susceptible to like death from this. So I gotta tell you, man, I mean, this is, I don't know, I'm kind of at a loss for words. But and then of course there's people saying, oh, this is all hype, it's not gonna get as bad as they say. I mean, you never know, man. I mean, anything is possible. I mean, this is definitely, yeah, anything is possible. you know um what we can do is, I guess, just hope for the best that this doesn't get too bad. And although, I mean, there's just there's so many uncertainties about this thing. You know, people in isolation, people kind of, um, yeah, yeah. It's just really scary how like there's still a lot that's not known about it, and there's still like a lot of questions to be answered. So this is probably one of the scariest moments in our lifetime, I tell you, because you know who knows how long this is going to go on. Um, Jeez, you know, and also it's caused like like stock market crashes, and it's basically made the world. It's basically caused the world to come to a screeching halt with like social gatherings and everything. Everything's getting canceled. You know, the NBA just canceled their season because like two players got it, and Tom Hanks has it, and there's like Justin Trudeau, Jair Bolsonaro, possibly Trump. They all have it. So yeah, wow. Eesh. And you know, no one really has immunity from this. You can drink all the vitamin C you want, you can take all the vitamin C you want, you can eat as healthy as you can, but that's not really going to do much in the long run to help you protect yourself from this. So I mean, to end this off, all I can say is stay safe out there. I mean, cover your mouth when you cough. um, Try to bring try to bring like napkins or tissue paper with you. Certainly not toilet paper. I don't know why people are buying it in such abundance. Also, like, just wipe down surfaces as much as possible. Well, maybe not as much as possible, but every couple of hours or so. Um, because it can stay on surfaces for days. It can stay in the air for up to a few hours after you cough or sneeze. So definitely just be on your don't let your guard down, and just kind of be on your A game when it comes to like just looking at, you know, kind of observing around you and being very vigilant and of everyone. And maybe, yeah, don't attack people though. Don't do that. I do not condone any of these xenophobic attacks against innocent people. So yeah, don't do any of that. But stay safe out there and just you know, try not to go to any large crowds or gatherings or anything like that. So yeah, that is it.